And welcome back to yet another fish room video. I know if you've been watching any of my other videos, you'll know just how bat crazy we've gone. Yeah, we have now rigged up more tanks. Well, those tanks were already there, but they're now on that system. And I have finally got the Malawi system sorted. So if you've seen any of the last couple of fish room videos, I've moved tanks around because we've got way too many Malawi cichlid fry. I say too many, but I mean not enough. So those are our new little babies, just a mixture of all sorts of things. I think there's albino blue dolphins, electric yellows, which I thought weren't electric yellows, but now they're starting to look like electric yellows, and a few other bits and pieces. But I had 4 2-foot tanks, which have been sitting up the top. They are now plumbed into these 2 4-foot tanks. So all these tanks are connected. The water is getting pumped up, through, back in again, up, through, back in again. So I'm just going to go through the basics of how I've done that in this video. Oh, and we've got a few awesome things breeding as well, so I may add that a little bit later to this video as well. But yeah, very straightforward. So one thing you will need though is you'll need something to drill holes in glass. Countless videos I've shown drilling holes in glass, but probably about a year or 2 ago. So if you go back to some of those old videos, you'll be able to see how you do that. But you can just get like the diamond drill bits, and it just goes an electric hand drill, and then you can make holes in glass. And once you've got a hole in a glass, you've got an overflow, and then all you need to do is pump water from one tank to another one. It overflows back into the main tank. Now, with all my builds and all the complete nightmare of everything, I tend to just use bits and pieces lying around that I've already got. So everything is kind of a big jumbly mess. So this sort of system will work if you've got random bits and pieces lying around. I know, and actually I should show you the incredibly cheap budget way I've done these tanks up the top. I've still only got 5 tanks up the top, not 6, because that one has got a leak still. But yes, I used the cheapest method ever of plumbing these into the system. Anyway, that'll be later in this video. But the Malawi cichlid system. Okay, all the little Malawi fry that I had in these 2 tanks are now up the top. There they are there. There is some more in there. These are, as I said, standard 2-foot tanks. Now we're going to creep around the back. Oh, yeah, this is where the mess happens. Magic mess. Yes, okay, that has got to be the dodgiest overflow ever. Now this was on another old system, and yeah, all it is poly pipe with T-pieces. I have my holes drilled in. These fittings you can buy from most aquarium places. I don't think hardware places have them. I sell them. I think they're like $29 the whole fitting, and you get the inside bit, the outside bit. It all pushes in together. It works really well. I think they're Laguna brand or something like that. But yes, all they are is the hole drilled in there. I think it's like a 25mm hole. It may be a little bit bigger, something like that. Maybe 32mm hole. I'm not entirely sure, but you can figure that one out. The water overflows through this pipe into this, which is just PVC, and then back into the tank. So that is our flow going into the tank there. The way that we are pumping the water is we're using one of these old canister filters. Now, there are a lot of rubbish canister filters around. This one looks like one of the rubbish canister filters, but it's an okay brand. This is an Orca brand, and a lot of the white ones that you see, I'm not going to name names, they are terrible. You could not pay me enough to use some of those canisters. But the Orca ones are probably one of the better of the cheaper ones. I think these retail for 200 bucks, something like that. And they work really well. The only problem with them is they work so well that after like 3 or 4 years, you forget to replace them. And they're only going to last for like 5 or 6 years. So any of these canister filters, apart from the really fancy ones, and we'll go through that one in a second, you want to replace every 5 years, whether they're working or not. So maybe give them to someone and get a new one, because yeah, if your filter stuffs up, that's your life support system for all your fish. But saying that, this canister filter here, the water is pumping from this tank into here. I have not even trimmed down my piping because this was on another system. So ideally you'd want this canister filter down a little bit further, but we've got it propped up on dodgy milk crates. How ghetto is this? Yes, it is, but it is working perfectly fine. So this canister was pumping the water from this 4 foot to this one, and it was just pumping through some more PVC piping, and I've got all sorts of different fittings in that, and the water's just trickling back in through these. It is as simple as that. So now that I've moved it further up, it is pumping the water from in here. Well, it's actually overflowing into this canister filter, then it's going all the way up this pipe here, and is going to the same sort of system up there. So it's just overflowing into the tanks, and then these are overflowing into the PVC and then back in there. So this tank here is pumping up into there and then going back. So it's just recirculating like that. And there are a lot of baby fish in this tank, as you can see, just all the Malawi cichlids in that. Starting to look like Malawi cichlids, so that's kind of cool. Now, this tank also overflows into this tank down here. And this canister here, which is an Awazi, I think it's a 450 or 650. I should know what it is, doesn't really matter what it is. It's an Awazi. They are a German-made canister filter, and they work a lot better, no offense, than the cheaper Chinese Orca canister filter. So canister filters obviously pump the water through your different trays with your media. These have trays with media, but they've also got this weird blue knob thing, which is a pre-filter, and they have a heater, so you don't have to have a heater in your tank. Kind of kick-ass. And I think they've got a silly, what is it, 4-year warranty. Yeah, it's a 3 + 1 year warranty. So 4-year warranty for one of these means that they're going to last about 10-12 years. 1 year warranty for one of those lasts about 4 years, to give you an idea. All going well, that is. There's a lot of different variations with why canister filters stuff up. If you've never had a canister filter before, they are pretty easy. It's just an intake, water goes through your trays, as I said, and then back into the tank. And because they've got a decent amount of pressure in them, you can pump the water from a bottom tank to a top tank and have the water overflow into the bottom tank. So you can use a canister filter to run more than one tank, which is pretty easy, it's convenient, and it helps with your water quality because you've got a ton of filtration. Anyway, getting back to these, which is the Awazi, I think Biofirm or something like that. I do sell them, there's probably a link down the bottom. They have a pre-filter, which is absolutely awesome. So when you turn this filter off, you push this little thing from the lock to unlock, and then you push this one to unlock, and then this whole thing will come off, and you've got sponges in this. So the water goes through the pre-filter first before it goes through the trays. So you don't have to pull the whole canister filter apart to clean all the trays, because you can just clean the pre-filter like 3 or 4 times before you need to check all the trays. So these are pretty much set and forget. Once a month, check your pre-filter. Super easy. Turn it off, push that one, pull all these out, and you got a whole lot of blue sponges to clean out. So easy, so convenient. I am going to eventually change over from all these old Orcas once they start wearing out, which is pretty soon, by the way, to these newer Awazi canisters. They do cost a little bit more, but they're worth it for the warranty, and yeah, just generally the build, they're just a better quality. If you're on a super budget, can't go past one of these Orcas, but don't be fooled with the ones that look like the Orcas, which are pretty rubbish, and there are quite a few, as I said. I'm not going to name names. You can always talk to me on social media, and I'll say, no, we don't sell those, and if I don't sell something, it's because they're dodgy generally. But saying that, that is how this giant mess is working from behind. Yeah, if we go to the front, it looks a lot better. Okay, it doesn't really look much better, but water is clear, fish are happy, easy, easy, easy. Oh, and if you did watch one of my last videos, in here, we've got the Aquariums. Look at that male starting to colour up. If I can get rid of the reflection. Look how red he's got already. I know. And these, okay, they're not Aquariums, but they are Batoni. There is the male there. So there's only 2 girls there. Now I did have 2 boys and 3 girls. One of the boys I've got down there because he was not getting along. Actually, no, I've got him in here, don't I? Where'd he go? I cannot even see him now. There are too many fish in here. Where are you? He's probably right in front of me. He might be in one of the little logs or something. But he got bullied by the other boy, so he is chilling in there. But the other girl, and let's hope she's still got them. Oh, where has she gone? She is still in with the calvus and compressiceps. Where are you? Well, this is a fun video when you can't even see the fish that you're trying to talk about. Where on earth is she gone? She has a mouthful of babies. I cannot even see her. Okay, she did have a mouthful of babies. She's invisible. Ah, there she is. She is just hiding there. That is her? Oh, come on. Come on. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit of food in the tank. And actually, this is just Vitalis fish food. Awesome stuff. If you've never used Vitalis fish food before, it is a flake food, but it is a soft flake food. Once they realise, oh, there she is, there she is. There she is through dirty glass. Look at her big jowl. There she is. She's got a mouthful of babies. Don't know how many. She's only just laid eggs in the last day or so. But I'm going to let her chill for probably about a week or two, and then we're going to get them out, and hopefully we'll have like 30 or 40 little babies. There she is, right at the back. Can we focus? Oh, the dangly poo. There she is. Yeah, of course I can't focus on her. But, yay, I have wanted to breed them again, and ironically, it's only been, what, 2 weeks since I've had them. Yeah, that's kind of incredibly fast. Oh, another thing that has bred, and I have, not the Oscars yet, but I do have a pair of Oscars down there. I've got a pair of peacock bass. I'm not going to go too close to them because I've just moved them from one of the tubs around the other side to this tub. They're starting to go, okay, maybe we'll breed, maybe we won't. That is mostly reverse osmosis water. I've got it at about 27, 28 degrees Celsius. This is a 400 watt heater. That is a 2,000 litre filter in there. That tank is 4 foot by 3 foot by 2 foot to give you an idea. So they are pretty big fish. They actually almost look too big for the tank, I think. Those are adult Oscars. And that is another 4 foot front to back by 2 foot high by 3 foot there to give you an idea. But the Oscars, since I've put the peacock bass next to them and they can see each other through the tanks, have been acting a little bit better. So the Oscars are sort of trying to go the peacock bass through the tank, which will just give them something to sort of chase away so they don't beat up their partner. So usually we use diver fish and stuff like that, but yeah, not really going to work in a tank that size. If I put some silver dollars or something, they're just going to get absolutely destroyed by the cichlids. Talking about destroyed by the cichlids though, check out that. Look at them. That is Dad, who is a German blue ram. Those are all his little babies. I have no idea where Mum is. I'm going to put a little bit of footage on the screen so you can see them a little bit easier. But yes, that is their second batch of babies. First batch got wiped out by a rogue coolie loach. Well, I'm pretty sure it was a coolie loach because they had their fry and then they disappeared the next day and we found a coolie loach in the leaf litter. But now, I think we're on day 2. And there's Mum there. Mum has the speckles in her black dot. Now that, sort of like how you tell female rams, probably about 90% of the time. So it only really works with like, you know, blue rams and stuff like that. Most of the morphs don't even have those speckles or really, really hard to see the speckles. But the females generally have speckles in the black dot and the boys, like Dad, don't have any speckles in the black dot. There's Mum going, what the hell has happened? Because in this tank, I did have my scarlet tetras. I had to move them into this tank. They were the diver fish of that tank, but no, they did not work. Why can I not focus today? There they are. There they are. Yeah, we're not focusing. Well, our baby Gouramis are starting to look like Gouramis. And our albino hoplos, we can now tell that's a boy. He's got those pointy dorsal or pectoral fins. That's a boy. We have two boys. But that looks suspiciously like a young girl. Yes, you do. So I think I have two boys and two girls. Yeah, all going well. But yes, I had to move the tetras out of there because they were actually darting down and eating some of the fry. There are a ridiculous amount of fry. And actually there's one right there. Look at that. There's a few little scragglers getting completely lost in the plants. And it just depends on how good the parents are at sort of looking after them. The Bircher or Becher are still doing their Bircher Becher stuff. And, oh, if we can actually zoom in, maybe I'll turn this light on a little bit more so we can see them. I have some rogue fry, there they are, in all these tanks. Don't even ask me what they are. A tetra of some type. There's all sorts of stuff. Possibly some gouramis. There is a little Senegal. Starting to look like a Senegal. Okay, our focusing is just generally not working right now. But anyway, that is where we are. I thought I would just do a little video on that sort of setup, but there is obviously countless other things to look at. Yeah, I will do another video a little bit next week or something like that. Oh, my baby angels are starting to look like angelfish as well. How good are they? Weird mixture in there. So I'm not entirely sure what's going on with this batch. Oh, we are not having fun focusing, are we? But yeah, a lot of them are looking like angelfish, which is always good. And the red devil angels still got the 3 out of the 5 survive. One has a dodgy fin, look at that. They're still in quarantine. We've got a few discus in there as well with them. But they're starting to look like angelfish. I don't think I'm going to lose that one. But yeah, it was just a bit of a shame. High ammonia in the bag when I got them in. And of course they're out of stock now. So I've got 3 new ones and my original one, which is way at the back there. And there's a couple of discus keeping them company while they're in quarantine. That is where we are with all that sort of stuff. If you did enjoy this video, click the thumbs up so I know. And yeah, hopefully, oh no, I didn't show you this system. And I said I was going to show you this system. I nearly got away without showing you that system. Okay, now, it's turned into a little bit of a jungle. If you haven't seen this before, it is water pumping with a great white pump, a great white shark, great white pump, great white shark pump into these tubs. The tubs are overflowing into a sump. And I do have all these little tanks up the top, which are 2-foot tanks with more cichlid fry. Yeah, they've gone absolutely crazy. I know. Why have I got so many fry? Because we're doing that whole saving the fry thing at the moment. And we're going to see how long we can get away with doing that. I reckon we can do that for quite a while. But this is the back of the system. I might have to step back. Hopefully it won't fall over something. Again, it is a dodgy system because I've used all the bits and pieces that I had lying around. So that's why none of these are even. I've sort of got old T-pieces that I've cut off other things and joined up. But it is the same system again. It has got these same bulkhead fittings. Water is overflowing back into this pipe, and then it's going into my murky protein mess in here, which has just got a little bit of foam on it at the moment. That's just protein from fish food and fish waste. I am going to probably hook up a hydroponic, or actually aquaponic system here and have this water pumping through that. I might use the overflow to actually go out and into a grow bed for plants and then back in there. Haven't done that yet because I have to bend time a little bit more to do that. But the way that I've got these tanks hooked up is I've got a sneaky little T-piece there. This tiny little fitting is just glued into it. And then I've got this really cheap black poly pipe and I've got it hooked up like that. So all these little fittings, which is a little T-piece here, a little bit of poly pipe and then a little tap so I can adjust the flow. That is how that's working. And the water is just trickling through these, overflowing the tank, trickling down there and then back into there. I do have my pump on full, but it is the smallest pump you can get. I think that's like 3,000, and actually I think they've got a 1,500 litre now. So that is on 20 out of 20 settings. Oh, move these bloody plants out the way. But that is just pumping the water up into these tanks. This one's a little bit lower down because I drilled the hole a little bit lower down. Yeah, so don't worry about that. But the water is pumping from those back into the sump, into these and into those. I think ideally I should have just done it up the top and then trickle into these and into those because I'd have a lot more flow. But at least with this method, I can turn off individual tanks if I want, and all the rest is still going on the system. So it works really, really well. Same with that sort of system. I can turn off individual tanks, have that isolated so I can use them for quarantine because I tend to be a little bit obsessive and keep getting lots of new fish, as you can see with those. Anyway, that is the way that this system works. Yeah, I found some more dodgy old little tanks on the lawn. Yeah, I know. So I have my tiny little micro raspora. I've split them into little groups, so hopefully they will spawn in there. Yeah, before we run out of heat and it gets cold again. But anyway, I am ending the video now. Got to feed everything and then go to work. So if you did enjoy the video, click the thumbs up. I did waffle on a little bit more in this video, but yeah, if you don't like it, you don't like it. And if you do like it, thumbs up. How cool are those gouramis? That is dad of all the lace gouramis. I haven't even showed you the lace gouramis, but the babies are doing super, super well. Anyway, see you in the next one.